हेलो एंड वेलकम अगेन वॉइस ऑफ अमेरिका के उस ब्रांड न्यू शो में जिसके नाम के लिए आपने हमें बहुत अच्छी और बहुत ज़्यादा सजेशंस भेजी हैं। एक दफ़ा फिर आपको याद करा दें, 20 जून यानी अगले बुध को वो आखिरी तारीख है जब तक आप वो नाम सबमिट करा सकते हैं, जिसके विनर को ये वीडियो कैमरा मिलेगा। दिस वेरी कूल फ्लिप वीडियो कैमरा जो कि आपके कंप्यूटर से यूएसबी से कनेक्ट भी हो जाता है। This video camera will go to the winner whoever suggests the name। हमारा 5 लोगों का पैनल है जो अगले बुध को बैठेगा और आपकी जो लंबी चौड़ी लिस्ट है जिसमें ऑलरेडी हमारे पास कोई तकरीबन 40-50 नाम आ चुके हैं, उस लिस्ट में से वो नाम चुना जाएगा जिसके विनर को ये कैमरा मिलेगा। और ये कैमरा हम हर महीने उस शख्स को भी देते हैं जो पाकिस्तान से हमारे टीवी शो खबरों से आगे के लिए कोई अच्छी खबर के सेगमेंट के लिए पाकिस्तान से कोई अच्छी खबर भेजता है। इसकी तफसीलात आपको हमारे फेसबुक पेज VOA उर्दू या हमारी वेबसाइट urduvoa.com पर मिल सकती हैं। सो याद रखें, यू कैन सजेस्ट नेम्स फॉर दिस शो। आपको पता है कि ये शो किस बारे में है। ये शो आपका है जिसमें आप अपने सवाल पूछते हैं, योर टफ क्वेश्चंस, जिसके जवाब हम आपके लिए लाते हैं अमेरिका के मुख्तलिफ महकमों, मुख्तलिफ थिंक टैंक्स और मुख्तलिफ थिंकर्स से। हमारे साथ आज इस शो में है लीसा कर्टिस। वेलकम लीसा। Lisa Curtis is with the Heritage Foundation and she is a well-known expert on South Asia. She's usually in touch with a lot of insiders and people in the government, so when we ask her something, she really knows what she's talking about. पिछली दफ़ा हमने आपको ये भी बताया था कि कुछ लोगों के सवाल रह गए थे और आपसे वादा किया था कि ये शो टोटली अनसेंसर्ड है, आपके सवाल और आपके कमेंट सेंसर नहीं किए जाएंगे। और ये भी वादा किया था कि जिन लोगों के सवाल रह गए हैं हम पहले उनकी तरफ जाएंगे। तो लेट्स स्टार्ट फ्रॉम तारिक अहमद पीर, फेसबुक पे जिनका सवाल था पिछले शो के लिए, हम आज लीसा कर्टिस से पूछते हैं। लीसा, मिस्टर तारिक अहमद पीर wants to know, it's actually a comment, but I want your response to it. He says that I want to say that the relation between US and Pakistan is only because of US presence in Afghanistan. When US will go back from Afghanistan, there will be no more relations. History tells us how selfish US and Britain are. Thanks.
Well, I would have to respectfully disagree, I think, with that question, or the assumption in that question. I was actually a diplomat serving in Pakistan in the mid-1990s. And even then, when there were sanctions against Pakistan for its nuclear program, there still was a fairly vibrant relationship between the U.S. and Pakistan. And there is a lot of goodwill between the two countries. Yes, we are going through a very strained period. I think 2011 will probably be remembered as the worst year for U.S.-Pakistan relations, whether it was the Ray Davis incident, the Osama bin Laden raid,
the NATO supply lines,
the NATO supply lines,
the Panetta statement, which recently happened in Afghanistan.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think certainly
Not
there
being
are
good.
tremendous strains on the relationship right now, but I think that's because there are fundamental differences between the two countries and the vision that they have for Afghanistan, and that is really what is causing all of the other problems in the relationship.
Lisa, before I go to the second question, this question came up again and again last time, so I want to bring it to you now. A lot of people, like Mr. Tariq Peer said, well, when the US leaves, there'll be no more relations. A person said last time, well, we only find out about US aid when it's withdrawing it. How come we don't find out about it when it's... What is the US not doing in reaching out to the people of Pakistan? Where's the disconnect?
Well, I think that's a good point, because I think Pakistanis need to ask their own leaders. I mean, the U.S. knows it has sent $24 billion in aid to Pakistan over the last 10 years. Pakistan is one of the largest aid recipients of the U.S. So, yes, this is a question that needs to be asked. Where has that aid gone? A lot of it has gone to the military. So, has the military been able to use that aid to good purpose by fighting the militants and controlling Pakistani territory, ensuring that terrorism cannot be launched from its territory? I think that's one question. And then the other question is, how has the civilian aid been utilized? And we know that it's only been in recent years that the U.S. has put greater attention on providing civilian aid. That's through the Kerry-Lugar-Berman bill, which basically put forward $1.5 billion per year toward just civilian economic aid. But unfortunately, there have been a lot of problems in implementing that aid, in putting it toward projects that are visible to Pakistanis.
And why is that problem?
Well, I think there are many different reasons, and I don't think we can blame one side or the other. I think there are probably problems with the way USAID operates, but also there's the security issue. A lot of times the security that is needed to protect the
projects is not there.
And also you have the corruption issue. There is a corruption issue in Pakistan, and so there are many questions that need to be asked of the Pakistani bureaucracy in terms of what happens with that aid.
And some of the points you made are really important, and I would like to repeat them in Urdu. Lisa Curtis की बात आपने पूरी सुनी, उसमें से छोटा सा सवाल जो मैंने उनसे पूछा कि पाकिस्तानियों को क्यों पता नहीं चलता अगर अमेरिका कोई इमदाद करता है, तो उनका ये कहना था कि 24 अरब डॉलर अमेरिका से पाकिस्तान जा चुके हैं पिछले गुज़िश्ता एक दिहाई में। पाकिस्तानियों को भी शायद अपने लीडर से ये पूछना चाहिए कि ये रकम कहाँ गई। जाहिर है कि इसमें से ज़्यादातर मिलिट्री के पास गई, लेकिन क्या मिलिट्री ने उसको सही इस्तेमाल किया, और सिविलियन एड कहाँ गई, कितनी करप्शन की नज़र हुई, ये एक सवाल आप लोगों के लिए भी है अपने लीडर से पूछने के लिए। लेकिन आपके अगले सवाल की तरफ चलते हैं। लीसा, दिस इज खुर्शीद सैम अगेन ऑन फेसबुक, who's saying why is Pakistan compromising with its sovereignty and civilians killing with the US, and what is the future of Pakistan? I guess that's more of a question of Pakistani leaders than Americans. But I still want to ask you about the drone strikes issue. At one point, US said, yes, the Pakistani leaders are not admitting it in public, but they're consenting. But now we see a very strong statement coming out of Pakistan, no more. What is US position today?
Well, first, I'd like to address the question about the future of Pakistan. And I want to make the point that when the U.S. calls on Pakistan to crack down on terrorism, to crack down on the Taliban, the Haqqani network, the Lashkar-e-Taiba, all the different militant groups in Pakistan, it's not only saying that for selfish reasons, because the U.S. firmly believes it's in Pakistan's own interest to get these non-state actors under control. And you simply can't have a situation where some terrorist groups are operating at will and with impunity in the country. And we've seen Pakistan has suffered more than probably any other country in the world from terrorism over the last few years. So I'm glad they asked about Pakistan's future. And this isn't all about what the U.S. wants. The U.S. wants a stable, prosperous Pakistan and firmly believes it's in Pakistan's own interest. And I think increasingly you are seeing even military leaders in Pakistan realizing that a Taliban-controlled Afghanistan would actually not be in Pakistan's interest.
In
that
their
it would,
interest.
in fact, be able to project power back into Pakistan.
Okay, let's get to the next question. Zen Ranja, again on Facebook, is giving me this question. Where do you see Pakistan on an international level? Thank you, Kavork. We're getting more questions on Facebook, and our producer Cassie is monitoring it. So if you guys have questions, you can send them to Facebook, Aisha Tanseem, or my Twitter handle at @Tanseem, but keep the questions coming. He's asking Mr. Zen Raja, where do you see Pakistan at an international level? Pakistan has become isolated at an international level. If we see in the mirror of history, we observe that USA always badly affected its allies after gaining its purpose. So I guess it's a repeat of the old question, which is it hurting Pakistan to be allied with US? I don't know which other allies he meant when he said US hurt its allies after getting its purpose, but Pakistanis constantly feel this. They feel used, they feel the US comes in, makes a deal, a transactional relationship, gets its thing done, and then leaves them, and then the sanctions, and it's not good.
Well, I think Pakistanis need to step back and look at what's happened in the world over the last decade. You had the 9/11 attacks, the biggest attack on U.S. soil in 100 years, 3,000 civilians killed. And so clearly the U.S. Must react to that situation. And, you know, for better or for worse, most of the senior al-Qaeda leaders that have been captured or killed have, we've done those operations in Pakistan. So there is a problem, and it's an international problem. It's not just the U.S. that is concerned about al-Qaeda and terrorism. It's the rest of the civilized world. So I think, Pakistan needs to sometimes take a step back and see itself the way the rest of the world sees
Now,
the
this is
country.
an old question, and I know you've answered it 1,000 times before, but because, this question comes up again and again and again from our audience, I want to know, Pakistanis feel, had the U.S. not attacked Afghanistan, and had Pakistan not allied itself with U.S., the terrorism within Pakistan would not be as it is today. They feel that they inherited a problem that was U.S.'s problem and maybe Afghanistan's problem by allying with U.S. They actually inherited the terrorism.
Yes, I understand this is a perception that's out there. It's a pretty widespread perception. But again, I think you have to look at, what were the terrorist groups doing even before 9/11, and we know that they were training in Pakistan and Afghanistan. So it's not as if the U.S. brought the terrorists to Pakistan. But unfortunately, since the terrorists attacked the U.S. had to react to that. And so the terrorists then have put themselves against the Pakistani state, some of them. So I think, again, we come back to that idea that until Pakistan believes it's in its own interest to get this terrorism problem under control, I don't think we're going to have a satisfactory relationship between the U.S. and Pakistan. The U.S. is never going to see the terrorism issue the way Pakistan does. I think, in Pakistan, there's a belief that you can support some terrorists and fight others. But I don't believe that's possible because most of these groups share training camps. They help each other logistically. They intermingle. They have relationships. We know that the Haqqani Network has relationships with the TTP. We know that the senior Afghan Taliban leadership also has relationships with the Haqqani Network. So they're all interlinked, and it's simply not possible to attack some parts of that network and not others.
Not others. Okay. So let's go back to the questions. Mr. Muhammad Ismail Arif again asked on Facebook, why is Pakistan being sidelined because of the follies of our government, especially by our current foreign minister? Mr. Muhammad Ismail Arif, some of these questions that you're asking, you probably should ask the Pakistan government, but I'll get to the part of your question which I think we can ask Lisa here, which is, where has the so-called strategic dialogue gone? We were known as the equal partner in the war against terror. Why has the partnership failed? Who is benefiting from the current disturbed Pak-US relationship? How can we overcome this and resume back to normalcy? Well, if you knew that, then I think the State Department would just hire you to be their God right now, right?
No, but I think it's a good question because I think the Obama administration came in with the view that it opened up a strategic dialogue with Pakistan, dealt with Pakistan's interests, whether it be energy or trade, the host of issues that Pakistanis are interested in. That if they raised up that dialogue, that then they would see some change in how the Pakistan government deals with militancy and terrorism, and they felt that would sort of bring the two countries closer. Unfortunately, that didn't happen, and I think the Obama administration now is questioning whether that was the right approach or whether there has to be a much more transactional approach. Nobody wants an implosion of the relationship, but at the same time, the U.S. simply is not able to have an effective or productive counterterrorism partnership with Pakistan right now. So I think there are a lot of questions about what is the right approach, and nobody quite knows it. And I think the previous question dealt with the civil-military tensions that are in the country, which makes it even that much more difficult for the U.S. to deal effectively because there is a lot of dissonance and incoherence in Pakistani governance right now, and that makes it doubly hard for the U.S. to be able to engage with Pakistani leaders effectively. And what is the answer moving forward? Like you said, I'm afraid I don't have that answer, but I do know that both sides are not interested in a complete collapse of the relationship. And I think both sides want to gradually get relations back on track. It's not going to be easy. I wish I could say we're not going to face troubles in the future, but I think we probably will. And then the question was asked, who's benefiting from the disturbance in the U.S.-Pakistan relationship? I think the terrorists are. Quite frankly, I think the non-state actors in Pakistan who are becoming increasingly powerful, they are able to challenge the state. We saw the naval base in Mehran was attacked in late May of last year. We've seen that they are attacking army installations.
GHQ was attached.
That's right.
That's like attacking the Pentagon
so
here.
Unfortunately, the only way forward is for the U.S. and Pakistan to cooperate and find a way to work together despite their differences.
Which they're having a hard time doing. Thank you very much, Lisa. That's all the time we have today, but we'd love to have you back again. हमारे देखने वालों से माजरत के साथ ये शो हम eventually करेंगे आपके लिए आधे घंटे का, लेकिन कुछ टेक्निकल वजूहात की वजह से नया शो है, इंटरैक्टिव है, वेब पर है, स्ट्रीम करते हैं, स्काइप भी बीच में होता है, तो हमें इसे 15 मिनट तक महदूद रखना है. जब हम फिगर आउट कर लेंगे कि हम आप तक एक अच्छा लाइव आधे घंटे का शो कैसे ला सकते हैं, तो हम आपके मज़ीद सवालात भी इसमें रखेंगे. अभी भी हमारे पास सवाल हैं जो बच गए हैं, अगले शो में हम उन तक भी आएंगे. तब तक के लिए आपसे इजाज़त चाहते हैं. याद रखें, हमारे फेसबुक पेज पर जाकर हमारे प्रोग्राम के लिए नाम की सजेशन ज़रूर दीजिएगा अगर आप ये वीडियो कैमरा जीतना चाहते हैं. तो अगली जुमेरात को फिर आपसे मिलेंगे 9:30 बजे पाकिस्तान टाइम. तब तक के लिए इजाज़त दीजिए. खुदा हाफ़िज़.